and welcome to the Antojai 2024 Quantum Tarot, where we go ahead and read each month and the energy of the entire year so you can be completely prepared for what's coming. You can make those boss ass moves like a millionaire, like a billionaire. Okay, if you've been a part of this channel for a minute, you know how hella accurate these are, and they are true. Like, they definitely always play out the way that, you know, they're laid out to be. I've been doing tarot for my entire life pretty much, so this is a really cool practice just to kind of see how it unfolds over time, and it teaches you a lot about what time and space actually is, because if we can predict a whole entire year's worth of content in tarot when things haven't played out yet, when you see them all play out exactly as they've been described, you're like, whoa, what is actually happening in terms of linear time, which is really cool projects to be diving into here. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. I really appreciate it when you do, because it does take me several hours. I've been reading these tarot spreads for about like 3 days now, 4 days almost, and it takes me time to like research and make sure that what I'm saying is consistent, it's clear. So your support is super, super helpful, especially with you know, getting the message out, because if more people can understand what's about to happen, they can live a more fulfilling life. Now, this is going to be a combination of a lot of different things. You're going to notice some Antojai signatures if you practice rather quantum Reiki, the neurocodes on Patreon, or any of my other shamanic energy stuff that I teach on any of my channels. You're going to be able to really apply the techniques that I'm giving you in real time with each month, okay? So this is the year where you can actually apply magic and see yourself alter all of these details. And I'll be adding more details as we go along, okay? But before we get totally into this, I want to just share some of these synchronicities that are happening. I've done several different spreads that are going to be attached on the channel, and this concept of the Two of Cups keeps showing up everywhere on any spread, and it's usually coming back to that concept of love. So love is going to be one of those really high vibrations, but it's not about finding love when it comes to relationships. It's about fulfilling yourself in love some way, you know? So like focus on the things you really love dedicating your time to, the things that you feel like you should be embodying now at this point in your life, etc. This is a really, really, really important energy, as well as the sun energy over here. So you'll see love here, you'll see love here. You end up seeing sun energy right here, and sun appeared a couple times as well in other readings, which is fulfilling your spirit. So you need to fall in love with your spirit, and this is the year where you can really do some massive changes that are going to dictate a new reality altogether for you, okay? So we're going to read all this outer layer first, because when we read this outer layer, that's kind of like telling us what the year is going to be encapsulated in. So these are the months in here, and we want to see first what the months are going to be generally affected from on the outer edges, okay? And when we can understand that, then it gets clearer as we dive deeper into it. There's a ton of different magic. So starting off here, I already pulled these cards out for the second part of this reading. If you're an Antojai practitioner and you want to know how to guide your business and your coaching abilities to the next level, that's going to be in the next spread that I do, basically. But I've been doing these spreads backwards. This is video 3. The next videos that you're going to see, I actually recorded them before this video. So there's a lot of synchronicities just if you pay attention to that, because it's cool to see different spreads connect. The energy of Imhotep, which is the energy of the healer, is coming up, okay? So this is about healing the world, healing yourself, becoming more astute when it comes to medicine. If you're one of those people that feels like you want to be a shaman, you want to be an energy healer, a divine light worker, this is the year where you got to really step up for that. Like, it's not going to be given to you. It's not going to be easy for you. You have to get past the resistance, whether it's your own resistance, the world's resistance, you know, whatever it is that's coming from there. You have to find a way to find grit and power through those limitations. If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to hit the next frequency that you want. Now, the vibration of the medium and the vibration of the Iron Maiden come up as well. So high mediumship energies are coming up. If you're already a medium, this would be the year where you can really refine those abilities, even use them to their maximum capability. If you have that wounded healer concept, this is going to be the year that makes it or breaks it for you. It's going to help you become a masterful healer, or it's going to destroy you altogether. The Iron Maiden is someone who is put into an Iron Maiden cast, and rather they die by the Iron Maiden, or they learn how to rapidly heal themselves from the Iron Maiden. So here is kind of like really strong divine feminine energy, as I say in other readings, because we have the yin energy here of earth. We also have the yin energy here on the bottom of winter, right? So last year was kind of like female male energy. This year is fully female energy. It's divine feminine energy. So we can see that even in the I Ching, as the I Ching starts imitating itself in different ways. So this is more so about going with the flow, but also being in action with the flow. The flow can't just be taking you wherever. You have to use that flow as a divine tool that gets you to the next layer that you want to get into. So we have I Ching number 62, and then we have I Ching number 17. Now, 62 tells you make sure that you're not diving all head into whatever project you're doing. Small baby steps is going to guarantee you success, but you have to continuously move. And this card right here is like a guy balancing a trapeze, I guess. And in order for you to do that, you can't just run on the cord, right? You have to allow yourself to take a step, find your balance, take a step, find your balance, if you're going to be walking at higher velocity or a higher level of existence. So in a way, the more higher consciousness you become, this right here is telling you, you require more and more patience. Without patience, then you're not going to be able to execute mastery over the divine healer, the mediumship, or the person who's supposed to understand some form of esoteric medicine. Number 17 talks to you about a following. If you feel like you're somebody who has a great mission, you want to be sharing your mission with other people, this is also the year for you to step into that. You know, it's a year where you can gather a lot of good following for the things that you're creating in your life. We have the energy of Antojai, and then we have the energy of the Fool. The Fool actually comes up in multiple different readings, and it's one of the major energies that's controlling this reality right now. You'll see that the Fool shows up over here as well, and it might show up in a couple other readings down here, because I haven't looked at any of these cards. I've just looked at like the outer layer of it. So here with that following energy, you need to understand, in order for you to be able to be an efficient leader and hold that energy, you need to be able to lead yourself. And that's going to be one of those things where you're going to see a lot of people coming up to the task to be a leader or an influencer or somebody with a great message, but they can't even follow through with their own messages, or they can't follow through with their own energy in general. So you're going to see them rise up and then fade out. This is the year where if you don't have the dedication or the true desire to work on yourself and get what you want, then you're going to fall apart. And that Fool energy is also kind of like this trapeze energy. The Fool is usually depicted walking on the edge of a cliff, right? So that energy of the Fool with the I Ching number 62, they're about the same energy right there, okay? Which is, are you going to be reckless and fall off the cliff or the cord, or are you going to take your time and enjoy the moment while being in fun, right? So like when you're balancing on the edge of a cliff, some people have like this vibration of endorphin release, right? There's an excitement being on the edge of life and death. And if you kind of like guide yourself well, you can experience that high and still come back to life, right? You get off the edge of the cliff. So that's the main vibration that's here. It's like, are you going to do it or you're not? And if you are, then, you know, are you going to do it well? Are you going to do it with strategy? This is all talking about strategy. We have the energy of brain grab and the invulnerability of the leaf. These two cards are basically saying that there's going to be a war over consciousness, which we've already been seeing since 2020, that there's like kind of like this narrative as to who's going to control what the world thinks. And there's a lot of kind of like obvious battling with the suppression of information. So pay attention to that energy. Like the world's going to be trying, the governments are going to be trying to alter consciousness to get you to do something that is not helpful for you. So you have to start thinking for yourself by thinking outside of the box and going after what you want, because what they don't want you to do is go after what you want, because by going after what you want, you stoke creativity, you stoke your spirit. You end up wanting to go after love and happiness, and that aligns you deeper with the vibrations of Adonai, or the vibrations of the celestial light of good, right? So this is what everything has to do with Antojai. Antojai is the language of Adonai. So we have the energy here of the invulnerability of the leaf coming next to Adonai, meaning like, are you really going to fight for your dream? This is the year where you go after it, and if you know this is supposed to be your reality in any capacity, nothing is going to stop you. You will find a way. Even when there's a little bit of tension, you will go after it without any fear of what's going to happen next, okay? So this is that energy of knowing that you're divinely supported as you pursue happiness, love, and spirit. Now, sun happens to be another one of those vibrations that keeps echoing a lot, and is one of the dominant vibrations. So ascended space, or the mastery of mind over matter, the energy of Tiferet, the energy of just being in alignment with the spirit itself, whatever that means for you, is going to be one of the things that carries out a lot of this happiness energy, which happiness is also associated to the spirit. Happiness is like the throat chakra of spirit itself. And then we have love, which love is a vibration that is unique to each person. So as we continue to walk through this, go after what you want while dancing with the chaos and being creative, you're going to notice these final 3 pillars here. In Antojai, we have 5 pillars. Is truth, is love, life, happiness, and power. Here we have happiness and love both coming up on those Antojai pillars of existence. So it's really cool to see what's happening in our reality. So then if we look over on this lower edge here, we end up seeing the energy of the Fool, which again, the Fool echoes over here. This Fool energy and the opening attack card, this opening attack was in a previous reading that I just did that you're going to see after this video. And it's more in association with the yin energy, which is this whole role right here. So go after what you want, take action, understand that it's going to be chaotic. It's not always going to make sense. It's going to be scary, but you got to look fear in the eye if you want to find the cravings of life, the cravings of victory, the power of the gods. Now, this year is all about victory, okay? So Antojai has one of those statements, which is the cravings of victory is what it is, right? The cravings of victory meaning like, are you winning? This is the year where you can really embody a lot of winning if you have a winner's mentality. We also have the energy of the goddess Lakshmi, which Lakshmi is controlling all of 2024. She's the one that tells us that there's an echo of 2022. Now, Lakshmi was also involved in 2022, and she's the one that tells us, okay, if there's anything unsolved or resolved in 2022 that you've been putting off, this is where you would want to take care of it right now. Now, she reminds us to have an open mindset of abundance and an open mindset towards love. This vibration is really interesting as well, because this is almost like the breath of life and the light of life coming into creation as we walk like the edges of reality itself, taking action towards what we want. So this is a really powerful energy that is not only just January through April, but is also the energy that controls the entire year. This entire year is ruled by abundance, love, and the vibrations of the goddess Lakshmi. So if you're in alignment with her, you're going to be living those lives, and you're going to be asking yourself, how much do I love myself? Do I love myself enough where I've been taking the actions necessary to embody my spirit? Because that is true love. And we see that spirit and love come together, like these 2 cards right here, right? So the only way you're going to be living in authenticity with reality is by pursuing your passions with love towards your highest manifestation. That's the only way to win. If you can do that, you will have a ton of abundance, is what she's saying. This is about dharma. This is about karma. This year of 2024 is making sure that there's no loose ends. And if you do have any loose ends, you're going to end up having to deal with them. One of the vibrations here that comes up in these side card readings is telling you that guilt, anything you have guilt over, is your karma that immediately is going to resurface. Now we have the energy of the Kundalini and the goddess Bhairavi. that comes up, and she's telling us, hey, during May through August, there's going to be this high energy of the Kundalini, okay? And making sure that you pay attention to not taking too much action. Work on yourself, take some rest, and don't take too much action. Now, this card right here is really interesting because it's in direct opposition to this card over here. Now, the I Ching number 23 is all about the common man floods the market. So the steady man or the superior man does not take action during these times, which this card is all about amassing a following, okay? So there are going to be a lot of people that step up to the service of guiding others, maybe teaching esoterica, etc., but they're not going to have the energy to fully play that out. If you're already a master at your craft, doesn't matter if they know you for nails or for hair or for healing, whatever, during May to August, you're going to have to take a break because this is going to get so flooded with competition and noise and bullshit that you're just not you don't want to get associated with that energy. When everybody's going right, you're going to do left is one of the things that you really got to pay attention to during this time. So it doesn't matter what your industry is, don't fight, don't take action during this time. Focus on yourself, focus on building your own personal strength, your own fortitude, and marketability even. But understand that with this moment of resurgence of the masses, the smartest people will just watch and wait for everyone who doesn't have the true passion or true dharma to do this type of work to fade away. Now, this is a really deep message for like spiritual healers because it's going to feel like a ton of people can do Reiki suddenly, or oh my God, everybody's trying to teach you how to do psychic abilities. You remember how in 2020 and 2021, the law of attraction kind of just blew up all over the internet because of TikTok and stuff like that? It's going to be another one of those where something's going to blow up in the esoteric world and everybody's going to like oversaturate it, but not everybody's going to be able to keep up with it because they're just finding out about it. They just want to make a quick buck from it. And as all the fakes show up during this timeline, you take a break because the fakes are going to self-implode. They're going to disappear on their own, and there's nothing you have to do about it. When they all disappear, that's when you're going to be there and you're going to stay consistent with your work. And then everyone who was looking for a true leader or a true inspiration is going to fall to you because you weren't part of the noise when this was all coming through. And this is going to happen in a lot of different industries. There's going to be like some sort of booming of information here, but mostly for the people who influence other people's, like healers and counselors and stuff like that, is going to be this divine energy here that's coming up. Now, when we go ahead and we go all the way across and we look at these two, they're telling us that you're going to feel like you want to take action. And, especially when saturation starts coming in, you're going to feel like FOMO. I got to take action. I got to do stuff. Oh, my God. If I'm not doing it, then I'm missing out. Oh, my God. Oh, what if I get forgotten in the noise? Right? It's going to be all that energy. But you need to have a change of perspective. Like, this is for you to level up and get to the next vibration that you truly want to embody. It's also telling you about focusing on your voice and singing the song of life. This is a really beautiful card because it's reminding you, if you were a soundtrack, because everything is vibration, right? And you're vibrating music essentially in the cosmos. Is your soundtrack something that people want to listen to, like cosmic beings would want to listen to? Or is your song just really trashy and needs to be muted? Are cosmic beings waiting for the song to come to an end so that they can find relief, right? And that's where you start having this internal inspection and awareness of what vibrations am I putting out, and is it necessary for me to put more noise when there's already so much noise here, right? If there's too much of a certain genre of music, everything sounds the same. You can't even really pinpoint, is it artist A or artist B, right? It's just all the same. But when there's variations in the kind of music, then you can tell the difference between, oh wow, this one artist is really good at this kind of music, and this other artist is good at this other kind of music. There's going to be a lot of noise here, and for you, it's to stay consistent on playing your song when all the rest of the noise has gone down. Because all these players, right, if we're thinking about instruments and musicians, they're going to play, and then they have to catch their breath. they have to go get food, they got to go use the bathroom, they got to go home to their kids. And then you, as a true musician, are going to have a different perspective. When they stop playing, that's when you're going to allow yourself to start playing your music, and everyone's going to hear it over the long term. This is a lot about vibration, all this section right here. That's how you're going to find purity. Purity is the vibration of victory as well, coming back here on the star of Lakshmi. Now, finally, we come over to this vibration down here on the outer edges, completing this sector. We have the energy of Thoth, which is the god of wisdom. So wisdom has to be attained during this last section of the year, which is September to December. And then it's going to require us to have more strength than we've ever had before. I've been teaching on Patreon the light codes, the neurocodes, so light language, light codes of Antojai. It's a workshop that I did about the divine arrow of light. It's a very powerful technique. It's one of the Vedic divine weapons. I made that video 2 weeks ago, and now I've made this entire, spread. I'm reading it. As I was cross-referencing it, the divine arrow of light is this card. Like, it directly references the same divine weapon in Hindu's culture that I made a video about 2 weeks ago. So that energy is really strong right now. If you're on Patreon, practicing the divine arrow and shooting divine arrows into September to December is going to be really, really strong energy. Like, if you can imagine the you between September and December, and you're shooting at the arrows of light that I'm teaching you there on the neurocodes, you're going to prep yourself now, especially if you start here and you do it as a daily practice. Bam, 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 bam. It's destroying all the negativity and disharmony that is in this later year of 2024, this later part of 2024. So here you can practice this alchemy here of the divine arrow, clean out this sector. You can use breath of life and light of life to get the whole entire year working in a really good vibration. During May to August, you can practice your Kundalini vibration very deeply. You'll be safe during this time. So there's very, very transparent energy codes that are showing up here in the Antojai language that's showing you, okay, this is all you need to do, and then you can start wiring reality in different ways. Finally, we come to like these outer edges here. So the vibration towards the end of the year is all about death. Did you actually let yourself transform from what's happening in the prior months? Are you going to show up at the end of the year looking good and looking flawless because you did the transformation, or are you going to look busted? And are you going to be the person who attains your divine gift? So this last card right here that I'm pointing on the far bottom right is the vibration of the Ace of Pentacles. The only way you're going to get any of the money or any of the greater dreams that you're looking for right now is by doing the work all this year, especially in the first 4 months of the year. It's going to be the most intense. What you do in these first 4 months is going to carry you in the next 4 months. So from January to April, everything you set up and do, you got to hustle, 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 hustle. If you do it well, then that's going to carry you through May and August. And you'll be able to come back to flow from September to December, and then have a cash out on what you want. What's really interesting is the Ace of Pentacles in my Antojai Tarot deck is actually connected to the goddess Lakshmi. She's on the card itself, Lakshmi. So here it starts with Lakshmi, it ends with Lakshmi, and she's already telling you how you're going to win. Use these alchemy keys, use this particular practice, use this divine astra, do that for the rest of the year, and you're going to hit your mark, which is really, really cool because there's not many years where it's just very black and white on what you need to do. When we're coming back to just looking at generalized information that we need to pay attention to, there are 3 main vibrations that are going to be affecting us every 4 months, okay? So the top vibration here is the 5th pentacle of Mercury, which serves to open doors of any kind, for nothing it encounters can be resisted or defeated. So this basically is going to open up all the doors for you to get whatever it is that you want. It does not matter what it is that you need in terms of resources or other. This first 4 months, January to April, is going to have that 5th pentacle of Mercury energy, which is amazing opportunity. Now, as we wrap up 2023, we're in Mercury retrograde energy right now. So just the fact that we start off with that divine, powerful Mercury energy in 2024 is going to be something that's really ridiculously advantageous that you cannot let just slip through your fingers. You have to take action on it. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything for you. You have to use that energy and mold it into something if you really want to experience true fulfillment. So then in the months of May to August, we're being affected by the first pentacle of Saturn, which is designed to compel others to submit to the possessor's wishes and requests. This energy is really interesting because if we're looking at how there's going to be a overflux of people coming in, so the best thing for you to do is just chill and wait and watch, right? You're still going to have this energy to be able to influence other people. So you're not supposed to be taking direct action, but you can take indirect action because there's going to be this high vibration of persuasion that's here. And kind of mingling is going to be the really good energy that's here. We also have the energies from September to December is the third pentacle of the sun, which serves to attract renown, glory, and riches. Here's another one of those energies, which is if you take advantage of this Mercury energy opening up the gates, so then you can just make strategic moves during this portion right here, May to August. Then by September to December, you're going to get a huge influx of recognition for your work. This is the artisan, the author, the creator. This is somebody who wants to be someone. If you're not in this vibration of wanting to go after your dharma and wanting to become someone, you should not be watching this video at all, because this video is not for you. You're not this person. This is for the go-getters. These are people that want it. The first 4 months are going to be ruled by Lakshmi. The second 4 months are going to be ruled by Bhairavi and Vishnu. So Bhairavi is going to be May and June. Vishnu is going to be July and August. And then from September to December, it's going to be Brahma energy, are the massive gods that kind of come into alignment here. Of course, we have the energy of Kali and Makahala that encompass everything, as well as the energy of Antojai and Adonai. Adonai was shut off last year in our reading for 2023. It was actually the vibration that was not supposed to be in alignment. Last year was a lot of black magic, dark alchemy energy. This year, obviously, that Adonai energy is corrected and coming back. So now that we know what is happening on the outer edges of reality, these are all the major influences that are going to be affecting you. Even if you don't dive into any of these shorter months over here, knowing this outer scope was more than enough to help you get to what you want. But it is helpful to see how the course of reality is going to change in these coming months. So now we're going to go ahead and dive into each month, and you might hear me repeat certain things from here just so that you can see the full scope of what I look at when I'm reading. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the first 4 months of 2024, starting off with January. Now, it's important to keep in mind the fifth pentacle of Mercury, which is opening all the doors for anything that you want to be doing. And since the first 4 months of the year are much more closer to the divine feminine energy, it's really important to just go with the flow. And it's going to seem chaotic and even adventurous at times, but let yourself flow with it. It's almost like going to an amusement park. Sometimes that tension or the scariness is something that you want to work with and open up new doors. Now, the first 4 months are all ruled by the goddess Lakshmi, so make sure that you do some Jupiter energy, Venus energy meditations, maybe some stuff with Lakshmi. Give her a little bit of an offering or something. That's going to be a really strong energy here, as well as the energy of the Fool is going to be really affecting this month of January. So then we first come out with that energy of the 64 I Ching. This is telling us the before energy. Before you go on any journey in general, it's really important to plan and strategize and try to make sense of what's going to come along the way. Even if you can't plan for everything, it is really important to allow yourself to even just slightly strategize on the what ifs from time to time. Now, what's really interesting is this is the energy of before, and this is the I Ching of after. So even when we look at how the cards laid themselves out, it's telling a very specific story. Whatever happens here in January is going to be what is affecting you most in December of 2024. So make sure that you kind of detail something. Where do you want to go? Write out your plans. What are some major goals that you want to get to? And then write how you can get to them. So there's this great technique called 131, which is one problem, three solutions. Which one are you going to pick, right? And just kind of architecting possibilities to move forward is going to be something that's really advantageous for you. Now, we also have the 1080 flash, which is the mantras of 1080. The energy of this mantra is for the mind and the sacral chakra. So what do you have to accept within your own thoughts to allow you to find zen and peace? That's part of the preparation. I Ching 64, as we're reading this and looking into the future, it aligns, right? It says look into things, strategize before you go into it. So just being on this reading, you're already in alignment with I Ching 64. With the 1080 flash, this card is just basically reminding you, okay, what have you not been honest about with yourself? How have you been doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result, which is an outdated form of thinking? And how can you change that so that it's in alignment with your emotions and the things that you want to be embodying? It's interesting because this card right here, she's looking, and if you look at it, right, she's looking back upon these two elements, back upon Lakshmi. So when you find clarity between your mind and your emotions and you focus them towards love and abundance, you'll be in alignment with the goddess Lakshmi. This is almost like the tempo for the whole entire year, because all of 2024 is being controlled by Lakshmi. Whenever you feel lost, this is how you come back into center. And this is very much so preparing you for what's about to come. The Page of Cups, you're going to start learning what you truly want and what you don't want. There's going to be a lot of things that start presenting themselves to you to help you move forward down your road. So if you've been asking for like a video editor for a while, how do I find that person, etc., and then suddenly you meet a video editor through a friend, the universe is bringing you that energy so you can actually follow through with your video editing career or whatever it is that you need that person for. It's also really important to understand that this is the energy of wisdom, the energy of Chokmah, which is the energy of Neptune. And if you are looking at the other planetary spread, the one that has the Yang energies, which is primarily controlled by Brahma, this is going to be awakening a lot of like this angel of truth and authenticity and altruism. This is the vibration that's coming up in that spread. So during January, how can you strategize while you're opening up all these new doorways of opportunity to give back? Because in order for you to really be in balance with the whole entire ecosystem, you have to give back. You can't just take. Taking is a vibration of lack, basically. If you never give back, you're always in lack. That's why you're always taking. And there's one major issue why your abundance is going to be closed off, because you're not giving back to the environment. Abundance is one of the main frequencies that are going to be guiding this year. So then here it's telling you how to stay in abundance and how to stay in alignment with this energy. If you can carry this energy right here with Lakshmi, abundance, and light of life, love, throughout the entire year, you're solid and you're great for moving forward. Try not to take on anything new. Stay focused on what you have. So the 9 of Cups coming upside down is telling you, hey, right now you have a lot on your plate already. There's a lot that you can do. You don't need another course unless that's part of the journey, okay? If you already have taken 4 courses on building your business and you haven't taken action on building your business, you don't need another course on how to build your business. You need to take action on building the business. If you're somebody who needs to learn more and more and more for your book so that you can have a really concise and accurate book, you might need to be taking courses so that you can align yourself more with the information that you're looking for. It's relative, right? So I really want you to just really understand it's not about adding more in any sense. This could be even being like, oh, I need to get a bigger space. Oh, I need to make sure that I make just a little bit more money. No, work with what you have right now. The tools that are currently present for you are the tools that are going to get you to the end of this, however it is that you need to. Work with what you have and that will refine into evolved forms, okay? So the more that you work with your tools and your inner energy, it will evolve and ascend, and by the time you get to November, you'll have a higher awareness of self and how to manipulate the universe. We come down with the King of Cups. This is the way that you fill your cup authentically without any issues. What's cool about this is like it's just January energy is prep energy. That's all it is. There's nothing more than making sure that you journal what's on your mind, how you're going to get there. Start getting into a practice of how can you develop more grit? How can you develop more inner awareness? How can you develop more flow? Flow is another vibration that you want to pay attention to during January, and you want to incorporate it into all of this. How have I been using this energy here, right? I've been clearing out my friends list. I've been clearing out my to-do list. I've been clearing out what I thought I wanted to do in a year's time from last year and reorganizing to who I am right now that's going to align me with love and abundance. So this is, I'm already doing this in December, and I've been doing this last probably like 3 months really. And you can be ahead of the curve if you start practicing any of the other months that you know that you're weaker on their subject matter. Now, if you get ahead of that, that's part of your planning, that'll be something really, really beneficial. But this is basically the energy here that's associated with that January vibration. Let's dive into February. Now, one of the things that I want to tell you is if you heard me say anything in January and it kind of just doesn't really make sense yet, just allow yourself to work with the pieces that you did hear. Your unconscious absorbs certain parts of the reading because I'm transmitting energies and timelines at you. And you're seeing it subtly in your unconscious, and it doesn't always make sense to the consciousness. So allow yourself to kind of just like work with whatever is present and revisit this when you need to. So coming into the energies of February, remembering that the doorways are still open in February. What is your focal point? By February, you need to have a focal point. You need to be able to create what is called a thalak, or the energy of a center of gravity, basically. Where do you want to direct everything? Your emotions, your thoughts, your soul, your life, your family. It should be one singular beam that is very clear as to what you're going to go after, and that's going to open up the doorways for you. We have the energy of Cancer, a lot of emotional energy. Whatever focal point you're going towards in February needs to be emotionally charged. So right now, you should be asking yourself, do you want to be in alignment with love, happiness, or spirit? And if you can't figure out an emotion for either one of those, you need to kind of sit down and ask yourself, what are you attuning yourself if you're not picking love, happiness, or spirit? That's going to be something that is really going to open up the doorways for your next level. Now we have Yasod, the emanation of life. So Yasod would be that vibration of life force energy, heart chakra energy, and its foundations is under unconsciousness. It's the moon that comes out. So here's a double moon energy. The Cancer energy tends to be water energies more closely associated to the moon. Yasod is the vibration of the moon in the tree of life. And here they're telling you, what do you want your emotions to create? You have to think about, if you could only pick one emotion for the rest of your life, what would that be? And could you live by that vibration for the rest of your life? Here we have the Seven of Wands. Don't overcomplicate it, okay? Just pick a focal point. Like for me, I'm going to work towards happiness. And as I work towards happiness, I'm going to allow everything else to create itself along the way. I'm going to let my emotions focus on happiness. I'm going to let my foundations be created from the aspect of happiness. And I'm not going to add more than just happiness onto my plate, because that's my strategy. My strategy is to create more happiness in everything that I do that's going to carry out into other areas of my life. Don't worry about not going for enough and not having enough. Also, don't worry about not being fully prepared. So right now, if you're kind of already contemplating these types of messages and insights, it's really valuable to know that you're having these thoughts because you're in tune with the cosmos. So your intuition is really sharp right now. if you've already been experiencing these levels of awareness. If you're not experiencing either one of these two yet, you want to try to force yourself to get into one of these vibrations. The sooner you can get into the next vibration over and over and over, the faster you're going to be living your life, and you'll see yourself kind of problem solve a lot quicker than the average person, which is very valuable. Here we have an echo of don't overcomplicate it, and here we have another echo of don't overcomplicate it. Don't worry about what you don't have, just go for it. Don't worry about what's not in alignment right now or what doesn't seem to be peaceful, just go for it. Strategize and go for it, okay? So it's very clear because the energies are open. Strategize, go for it. The energies are open. It's going to seem crazy, but that's what this whole vibration is about. What does love mean to you? What does abundance mean to you? That's what's going to bring you wealth. So now we're going to go into March. Remember, March is being opened up with doors of all sorts. We first have the energy of Kerhet, which basically she's the goddess of secrets. And when she shows up, it's time for you to start thinking in new, innovative ways that are outside of the box. It's occult knowledge, is being able to integrate the sacredness of reality with the nowness of your experience. It's very, very strong energy. This is also tied to the goddess Saraswati and the chakra mantra AIM. So you ever heard that mantra AIM? That's one of the ones that you want to be practicing during this month. If you're part of Antojai Soul Alchemy, there's the AIM vibration that you can use from that as well to amplify this particular key. So we start seeing how like the chakras are fluctuating, colors, lights are fluctuating. This year is very light oriented. So here you're going to probably start having very deep awarenesses on how to bend the holographic reality, how to step more deeply into your dreams, etc. But there is going to be the potential for a lot of death with the Rain of Bones energy. As we evolve into higher realities, there is always tension that is involved with that. So in March, don't be surprised if you're seeing, more news about catastrophes. You're seeing people in your reality step out of your reality, not fully because they're dying, but maybe they're not in resonance with you anymore, so they can't really be sustained by your awareness anymore. The Rain of Bones also is showing that there's going to be a level of tension globally because it's more than just one person that's being affected by this. And this is where you're going to have to find invincibility during the secrets, because if you're in alignment with the vibrations that we're reading here already, the doorways are going to open for you. So it's going to be almost like you're living a pseudo reality, like you're living a secondary reality while witnessing everybody else go through that. No matter what happens, we have the energy of the Tower in March. So that energy is definitely going to be a bit of tension. Something old has to be reformatted, destroyed, and let go of so that we can vibrate. This is very societal energy. This is something that's going to happen in the society at large that's then going to trigger probably a very deep level of awareness. Planning is necessary, but you also have to understand that there is going to be tensions. Now this card right here is really important because it echoes a lot with some of the vibrations over here with I Ching number 23. I Ching number 23 is all this center sector right here, but it talks about how when there's tensions, all you have to do is, find a way to not get fully involved. You have to let the tensions almost resolve themselves by being aware of what's happening. So here is that same energy. Like it's in March, we're echoing already what's going to be happening from May on to August. So this is a good prep or a good practice to almost like learn how to let things unfold naturally before getting fully involved in it. We have the energy of stagnation with Seven of Pentacles. Here there are going to be worldly issues that are happening with a spiritual level. People are going to be asking themselves which way they want to take their lives, and is this the direction in which we want to guide the world? This is a lot of deep alignment of introspection, higher awareness, and then even radical change. There's going to be a level of tension that is going to feel uncomfortable to everyone, especially in the terms of economy. Again, this should not be something that scares you, because if you're planning correctly in January and you're taking the moves and not like being afraid, during February, when this stuff starts planning out on March, it's going to seem like, wow, I've already taken the deep steps that are in my reality to make sure that I'm okay. We also have the Nine of Swords and the vibration of cruelty. So this seems like some sort of like world war. If it's not a world war, because that seems a little bit too drastic, it's more so like the energy of like societal tensions. Like maybe the economy's not doing so hot. People are really tired of buying courses. People are really tired of, not going after their dreams, wanting a quick fix. There's a lot of different awakenings. And this is almost like, when people were coming out of the COVID scene in 2022, that was a whole thing where people had to refigure out who they were in the middle of that process. And now this is what's happening again in a very similar way. We have the energy of Netzah, which is the energy of victory. How this moment in March affects you and makes you feel and how you take moves from that is what's going to allow you to make it or break it. So if you process this moment here in March with fear, you process it with resistance, you process it with, anything but empowerment, that's setting the tone for these other areas, especially in the next 4 months, because you're going to make moves that are not in alignment with somebody who is level-headed. Level-headedness and self-control is super important in March. That's the final judgment when it comes to this particular element here. There's no change on that. This is a collective consciousness agreement, this tension that's here. So you need to find where you're going to be prepared with that. And it's really just being aware with how you spend your money. This year of 2024 is one of those years where you don't want to be buying shit. Like, you shouldn't be buying anything in 2024. It should be only building. So if you're going to buy something that's not going to help you grow your business, that should be taken out of the equation. So vanity stuff, luxury stuff, all that needs to go out the window for at least 1 year. That PlayStation is not adding to your growth. You know what I mean? That new car, unless you need a car, is not adding to your growth if you already have 5 cars. You know what I mean? Like, you need to think about using your financial resources to grow. Millionaires and billionaires make their dollars grow. So you need to make sure that everything you do is money moves. Your money is going to make money going in this direction. If you're buying things that do not appreciate with their value, like, if you're just randomly just buying random shit from Amazon, that's never going to appreciate. So I know a lot of people have like this vibration of like consumerism, because that's also what's popping out in this whole sector here. Consumerism is the slave mentality. It's weak mentality. The more you buy, the more you feed into that system, and the less you have control of yourself. So if you can do anything, don't buy anything if it's not going to grow your business or your family's awareness. Invest in your kids' knowledge. Invest in, maybe expanding part of your home so you can finally have your office that is going to help you build your business. Those are types of moves you need to be making. If it's not going to somehow return value, you have to let it go. Otherwise, that's going to be one of the things with that full energy that throws you over the edge. One of the most invincible moves that you can make is thinking outside of the box. The society is going to want you to buy more. Don't buy more. You're going to see how that plays out in just a short amount of time. Remember, January has to do with who are you and where are you going. February is going to be about making balanced steps and then making sure that you're the person that can follow through on your own design and creations, while allowing yourself in March to become invincible, even though the world may be going to shit. As long as you're making sure that you are taking the steps to invest your money in wise ways that grow, you will be fine. Then here we go ahead and we dive into April. Now, April has the Fool energy, literally. So it's really interesting that this vibration of the Fool is closest to April, and all of 2024 is also being influenced by the Fool. So this is a lot about adventure and self-fulfillment, the cravings of life that you truly, deeply want to be experiencing. We have the energy of Zeke, the master shaman, which is also the vibration linked to the vibration of fire. Fire is the element that controls all of 2024. So here we have another echo. In April, all of your creations are going to start speaking for themselves. If you've been dealing with your karma from 2022, if you've been listening to what they're saying here throughout the other patterns that we've gone through already, then you're going to be fine. You're going to be in a place where you can then control the fire of the year and direct it in a way that you really, really want to be experiencing. But it's important to pay attention to deceit around you and to have bravery. Reality is going to seem like it's going to be directly opposing you at certain times. That's the deceit. It's trying to keep you in a specific place of your mind. If you're also experiencing people coming into your reality out of nowhere, oh, I want to work with you, oh my God, like, and it seems too good to be true, deceit. Don't go in that direction. That's not going to give you life. That's not going to fuel you, okay? Life energy is really connected to this energy of the Ka, which also tells us to have valor. One of the things that sometimes we need the most valor for is the vibration of standing alone, okay? It's really important to be able to stand alone when it's necessary, even when it seems like it's going to be more of an issue. But that's where true power and development comes from. We have the energy of Sebek that also presents itself with the King of Cups. The King of Cups was another vibration that was right there, okay? So look at the echo that's already happening. Whatever you're setting up in January with King of Cups is this last card right here, is going to echo again in April. So your planning in January is going to be fully seen in April. And with Sebek, Sebek is the card of the pharaohs and the royals. If your plans are in alignment with what the rest of the year has been dictating, then you're not going to have a problem. All you're going to have to do is keep moving forward. We also have the vibration of Binah. Binah is Saturn. Binah is the understanding energy. You need to understand yourself along this process as a divine creator. Sebek unlocks a lot of deep awareness and personal power only when you've chosen not to accept yourself as a limitation. When you've come to understand that every limitation that you have originates from the self first. And that doesn't always seem easy to accept, but that's the vibration that comes out in April. Where are you still blaming other things without looking at yourself first? Who's coming up in your reality that's trying to like seem way too good to be true? Don't trust them, trust more in yourself. Saturn energy, understand where you're coming from, where you're going, and is that in alignment with what you dictated in January? Coming back to that energy of death, death is also present towards the end over here. So we have death and death echoing each other very deeply. So whatever happens in April is also going to be what's going to be playing out for you in this lower half of the month. Now it's interesting how the cards read themselves, because remember how in this middle sector right here it tells you not to do anything, just to work on yourself, and that you had the first 4 months to really solidify your maximum potential. Well, whatever you maximize by April, since you're not going to be doing anything here, is going to pick up right back when we get into September and align itself at the end. So you see how like the cards just kind of skip as you read other variables. Most important thing about April is having patience, okay? Patience with yourself, patience with the process. Sometimes you need to revisit and analyze. There's a lot of clear energies here. Strategize, take action, slowly but surely, and ask yourself where you follow in on all of that. Don't spend money unless that money is going to be growing, and allow yourself to really ask yourself, are you in alignment with what you created and what the energies of this template are asking of you? Did you clear any karma already associated to 2022, or is it still here? Where are you not pushing yourself? Where can you improve? What does your effort by April say about the rest of the year? Because you're going to be put on pause. So are you confident by April with your efforts that you'll be okay through May until August, and that will be able to carry you right back in flow when you step in September? That's going to be one of the major game changers here. Remember, it's all about the opening attack. This is your opening attack. This is what's going to allow you to really set the tone using that infinite energy and the divine feminine to create the next levels of what you're really looking for. Happiness, love, and spirit should be the only things that you really focus on during April and align yourself more with. You know, if you haven't chosen which one by April you want to really focus the rest of your life on, you want to allow yourself to at least say, okay, I'm going to focus on how can I improve these areas in my life so I can be more in alignment with the vibrations of Adonai, which is the vibrations of high creation. All right, so now we're going to dive into the months of May to August, and that's all being ruled by this energy here of the first pentacle of Saturn, which is designed to compel others to submit to your wishes and your requests. So remember that up here, there's a bunch of opportunity to be taken. You know, it's going to be a lot of planning, a lot of strategizing, so that by May, all the work you did between January and April is going to be carrying you through May to August, okay? So it's really important that you keep that vibration in there. Now, the first 2 months, May and June, are ruled by the energy of Bhairavi. And Bhairavi is reminding us to step into our power. It's all root chakra energy. Face your fears, face whatever's in that vibration. And underneath you can see here is the vibration of Chinnamasta. So Chinnamasta comes up as well, reminding us just do it. Like you need to cut loose whatever limitations you're experiencing overall. With the vibration of I Ching number 23, we end up having this constant reminder that this series right here is going to be filled with a lot of saturation. So I've been talking to friends who have real estate businesses. They already see this month cycle here being activated. A lot of real estate people coming into the game out of nowhere, and they're not going to be able to sustain themselves because they're not working in a self-sustainable manner, basically. So you're going to see this in a lot of different areas in industry, just a bunch of people flooding towards it where there's opportunity. And it's because a lot of people are going to walk away from an old plan that they had in their previous life. So even though you may not be thinking that everyone's reading tarot this way, everyone is operating from this energy up top from a subconscious standpoint. So don't be surprised if, you know, a family member who isn't really spiritual is like, I'm going to start planning so I can make the moves, and I'm just going to focus on building myself so that I can have like a really great attack plan with everything that I'm creating in my life because I'm ready to embody that life, right? So cool thing for you is like you're a shaman, so you're now being able to read it ahead of time. The main vibration here is purity. So you have to purify yourself from all the extra noise that's going to be happening here. And that's going to be like a change of perspective. That may be a little bit more difficult for you as you allow yourself to kind of just fit into this mold of experience. Remember that during this time, it has nothing to do with you and your design. It has to do with the culture. So people are going to be putting the collective consciousness in a restraint. That's why May to August is going to feel a little bit weird. You might even be tempted to blame yourself for the things that have been happening. Maybe you haven't felt like you're doing the most. But if you can keep track of January to April, and when May kicks in and you start seeing that people are messing up the timeline, people are trying to like saturate the market and stuff like that, it's not going to be something that really holds you back. Vairati is also the goddess of the Kundalini. So during May and June, those are the vibrations where not only do you want to face your fears, but you also want to get into this vibration of understanding the Kundalini energy. So fire breathing, Kundalini yoga, Kundalini Antojai, like stuff like that is what you really want to get into. Now we have the energy of Duncan, which is the energy of crusading. You need to just allow yourself to recognize that the state of May to August is not going to be something that you feel like you should be involved in. Like you've done a lot of the work in the previous months, so like why is this happening? That's okay. You have to just allow yourself to continue moving forward while the rest of the world hits a peak of disarray. So this is kind of like that energy of, when everyone is in some hot mess, you just keep to yourself and you keep focusing on the things that you want to get to, and you're going to see yourself get there, okay? We have the Ace of Wands. This is the only way you will survive not only May, but this whole cycle in here, okay? It's really important to just keep to yourself. During this time, you're going to notice that there's a lot of people that want to go ahead and collaborate with you. You're going to notice people suddenly have an interest in your business. People want to somehow help you get to the next level. This vibration is telling you just work by yourself, because if you get involved with anyone else at any capacity, it's going to bring you down. The Isis vibration, the goddess Isis, which is also connected to the card that I designed for my mom, here's another moon reference. So in previous cards, we started seeing the essence of Yesod, and Yesod was in February. So this essence of Yesod from February is starting to echo again into May, and you can just basically rewind, listen to February, and you'll notice how these 2 months are definitely echoing each other. Now, when Isis comes up, she's the goddess of rebirth, fertility, motherhood. So that motherhood energy is going to be really strong during this cycle, but May in particular is where you're going to feel a lot of love coming into your reality. Isis is also associated with that love energy. So we can see that the energy at the beginning of the year is also echoing in May, just to remind us where we are. Now, with the Isis energy, she's also reminding you to have fun, make the world a better place. When shit hits the fan, it's how you process what hits the fan that rather makes it shit or makes it like a really cool, freaking confetti party, right? So this is kind of that energy of like your perception is what's going to ground you into a new reality. If you know that you've been doing the work, then by here, if you are just allowing your work to speak for itself, this is going to be a very powerful experience for you to master. We also have the Eight of Pentacles, which is prudence, and the Antakarana. Now, the Antakarana is about balancing your mind, intellect, ego, and intelligence all together with your higher vibration. And this is tied to the 8th chakra. So there's going to be a lot of transformative energy. 8th chakra energy here. Chinnamasta is under here. So here we even start seeing how the 1st chakra and the 8th chakra are going to be very dominant in May. That means you want to be working on your existence and you want to be working on your transformation, as those chakras own those 2 areas of life. Now, this is about asking yourself, where is your ego backtracking you or self-sabotaging you? Where is your form of thinking outdated? Where is your memory not helping you? Because that's what the Antakarana has to deal with. If you got to read a little bit more about the Antakarana in Buddhism, I highly recommend it. It's got a lot of wisdom there. But this is basically staying steady to your craft. Because the Eight of Pentacles is also about like, hey, you're a master creator or whatever it is that you're trying to create in your reality. But that does require time. And I watched this video the other day and I was thinking about it in general in my career, right? Some people spend a whole entire year making a movie, right? Especially if you think about blockbuster movies. A whole team of people spend a whole entire year making a movie just so that you can watch it for 2 hours. A whole year, okay? And if you think about like certain content creators can take several days to create a video just so that you can have 4 minutes of that video. Similar to this tarot reading, right? I've spent about like 4 or 5 days reading this already, and you're just going to watch it in just a couple hours. So here is like all the effort is going to add up to something, even if you can't see what that effort is. And you have to allow yourself to understand that this is the way this reality works. This reality works a lot of about time and grit and personal effort into something. You have to feed something with your energy to get it out. A lot of people want something without giving their own personal energy into the project, and then they don't become it. So think about transmutation and integration here is what the concept here is. If you want to become an amazing singer, you need to put in the personal energy, your personal life force into learning how to sing, getting better at singing, maybe learning how to operate singing equipment so that you can become the person that you embody yourself as the singer, okay? So if you don't put in that energy, that life force, then you won't become the singer. It's very clear, it's one-to-one. And you would think a lot of people are already aware of this kind of practice, but most people don't. We have the energy of Binah. Binah shows up a second time. Binah was up here as well in April. So Binah is the energy of knowledge. She's also the energy of understanding, and she's the energy of Saturn. All of this year is controlled by Saturn. So April and May are power months for you to really use that Saturnian energy to control different aspects. Now, Saturn is about opening up your consciousness and destroying things that are holding you back. So in April, make an internal registry of like, what is it that I need to let go of, and how am I going to make that plan, right? Remember I told you that 1-3-1 method, one problem, 3 solutions, which solution is the highest probability to go use to attack, okay? That by then, when you get into May, you already know what needs to be done, and it's going to be even more clear why it needs to be done. And you need to allow yourself to just talk to the universe and tell her, hey, this is what I wish, and she'll help you move that. Now, what's really cool is like, if you pay attention to these pentacles and you use them, you're going to have a higher ratio of understanding. So if you practiced at any level with King Solomon's magic, this is going to be something that's really, really powerful. We also have the Seven of Cups, and Seven of Cups is saying don't get caught up in the illusion, all right? And what I think what's really highlighting itself here is that in January, we have the Nine of Cups upside down. Don't overburden yourself. Don't get caught up on the things that, you know, you don't feel are working. Work with the resources that you have to create the rest of your reality. But this is echoing as well into May, where May's got the Seven of Cups. Don't get caught up in the illusion. It's almost like the same energy, but in a different vibration. It's almost like inverted. So in May, you're going to be seeing like, oh, everybody's popping off on the internet. Oh my God, everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing that. Ah, I got to make sure I jump on the train or else I'm going to miss out. That's going to be your vibration of defeat. If you try to follow the crowd is going to drown itself. So you really have to pay attention and let everyone that wants to drown themselves drown themselves. That's the power of mastery, okay? I know it sounds really messed up, but this is kind of the energy that's here. Is personal mastery is staying in your lane and focusing on your own personal universe, becoming stronger and making sure that you're taking all the information that you're being given here to plan the rest of the year, knowing that this moment right here, May to August, is not something that you want to get involved in. Everyone else is going to try to talk you into it. Everyone else is going to be like, you're missing out. You need to remember, May to August, you are chilling. This is going to be like your rest moment. This is your personal development moment. This is the time where you're going to focus on really refining yourself. And by August, that's when you show up back in the game and you take over, okay? That is the Queen of Cups energy. The Queen of Cups is somebody who knows how to use all the details, bring them together, and make a very strategized result that brings her success, okay? So again, strategy. The before energy and strategy here is almost like echoing each other again. So we have multiple echoes, and that's what's really important about these types of tarots, is that you can manipulate multiple timelines from one place if you're aware of the energies that are going to be applied. So now you know that January and February are echoing into May. You can take the wisdoms from both of these levels and start applying it before you even get to May so that you can have an easier flow. So here we dive into June. June is still being controlled by Ravi before we step into more masculine energy going on that side. Now we have the energy of reverberate. Whatever it is that you are holding in your heart during the time of June is what's going to amplify itself. So this is really inviting you to think about this concept up here. Who are you? Who did you decide to become in 2024? Were you the master medicine person, shaman? Were you the medicine guru, the healer, right, with the Vatican? Or are you the maiden of the medium, which is a high spiritual person? Who are you? And are you vibrating that vibration in June? Now, this is an identity shift that it's talking about. If you want to be the master shaman, you have to start waking up every day up until the moment that you get into June, reminding yourself, I'm a master shaman. What would a master shaman right now be doing? Master shaman would be practicing, would be talking about shamanism, would be whatever it is that you think that person that you are in that title would be doing. You have to pursue that and be embodying it by June. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of the noise in this middle section start affecting you directly. So part of it is like, yes, plan before you get into June, but it's also important to recognize that the most important asset that you have is the identity shift. So by June, are you that person that you see yourself being? Are you taking action as that person? Are you living your life as that person? Because that's what's going to help you collapse this pentacle here into a more aligned vibration. We also have the energy of aim, which is the energy of gain, the Nine of Pentacles. So here's a lot of money coming your way, a lot of like clarity and focus if you have become that identity. So if you become this person by June, you don't have to worry. You can just chill during this time, and then when it's time to react again and fully like step back into the workforce or into your divine creation, it's just going to be super easy. Now, this energy right here of aim is also echoing the March energies over here, because we have the goddess Kekuit, as you can see her there. She's tied to occult knowledge. This is tied to occult knowledge. They are both connected to the goddess Saraswati, which I pulled out in the previous reading as well. And what they're saying is like during the vibrations of March and June, you're gonna have the ability to really focus in on something that you deeply want to be creating, something that you really want to bring forward. That seems like it's almost impossible, but it's coming from the etheric world. The most important thing is not to get into any vibration of debauchery. So let go of drinking, let go of smoking, let go of procrastinating, let go of watching 12-hour Netflix series. Whatever is taking you away from doing the work has to be dealt with by June, because then it's going to become amplified and more of a problem for you. So right now, think about, what are the 5 things that you need to let go of? What are 5 things that you really love about your life? And what are 5 things that are stopping or taking away from you investing more into that area of your reality? By doing that, you'll be in the highest vibration possible. Now, what's interesting is we also have the card of Dionysus, which Dionysus is also about debauchery. He likes to drink a lot. So here, Dionysus is the god of Saturn, which here we have another third repetition of Saturnian energy. Saturn energy is going to be affecting May, affecting April, and now affecting June, as well as the rest of the year. So when Dionysus shows up in my deck, he's telling you that the temptation is real. The temptation is going to be super fast, especially let's say in January you decide not to smoke weed or drink anymore. By June, the temptation, even though you've let it go and you've been really good at it, is going to pop back up. Dionysus is going to show up and say, hey, we should just party. We should just forget it. Just go all into it. Right? And then it makes you get really chaotic and self-destructive. In June, make sure that you pay attention to any self-destructive vibrations that are trying to self-sabotage all the work that you've done up until now. Now, that's where this energy of Bhairati really comes in as well, kind of just reminding you, cut it loose, work on your root chakra. The only reason why you want to step into this debauchery is probably because you see the tension that's going to be happening between May and August. And for you to really step into your highest vibration, you need to have a change of perspective, okay? You need to purify yourself and recognize that it's not you that is going through stress. It's the collective consciousness that is going through stress. If you can allow yourself to be a persuasive person and use that energy of Saturn, because this is all ruled by Saturn as well. So 2 Saturns, 3 Saturns, 4 Saturns, 5 Saturns, okay? As you see those Saturns stepping to their reality, it's really important for you to just use your words, use your diplomatic skills, and try to just talk to people into doing actions for you instead of you taking actions. You're not supposed to take any direct action, and you're not supposed to be wasting your time doing nothing. You need to be using your persuasive skills to get others to do actions for you until this middle section is taken care of. We also have the energy of Jevra, which is the energy of Mars that is also present in our reading from different layers that we've dived into. Jevra is about creating boundaries, which is interesting because we're talking about not getting into debauchery, but debauchery is going to be very much so in alignment with everything that we're doing. So in order for you to really step into that higher sense of awareness and power, then you have to create boundaries with yourself and other people. This Jevra card is also looking back upon this vibration over here. And if you look at her, the art and cards are very important. She's looking towards this direction, right? So she's looking over here. Remember that during the debauchery time, people are going to try to get to work with you, do not trust them. Now, this is a premonition that I've personally gotten in my world. Sometimes when you raise yourself in the collective or in your craft in general, people pretend to be your friend so that they can get closer to you, just so that they can gather enough information to destroy you later on, okay? So this is where you have to be really aware of what they're telling you even in May. Don't work with anybody who wants to work with you. Make it a boundary. You don't have to be rude. You just have to be like, you know what, right now I have so much on my plate, I can't do that right now, okay? If you do that, if you stick to what they're telling you, you're going to let go of a lot of old self-sabotaging behaviors that are tied to unworthiness, unwantedness, and not being good enough. Now, unworthiness is you don't feel worthy. Unwantedness is that nobody wants you somewhere, and that's where it's kind of like this vibration of inner child healing that's coming up. Usually when we get to a place of immense transformation, other parts of us try to self-sabotage us from getting there. But it's really important here to always remember, what does your spirit want? Because sun is one of those major vibrations that, we're messing around with. What, even though this seems chaotic, is it worth it to step off the cliff for something easier, which it will not be, okay? So what's in alignment with my spirit? This is not worth it being so easy for me. I'm going to keep sticking to my guns. I'm going to find where I belong in my own reality. There's the energy of the Five of Swords. There's a lot of people that are going to feel jaded because you chose to follow your own vibration and let go of the tension in the past. Now, with those people that feel jaded and they react and they act negatively towards you, remember, these are the people that the tarot is warning you about. Because anybody who's living the same vibration as you during this time is going to hear you say, hey, I don't feel like it's time for me to start working with anybody. I need to focus on myself for a little while. And they're going to be like, you know what? That's a really good idea. I felt the same exact way. So I think this is a premonition from the universe that I should stay in this vibration. And then you guys help each other out. It's only the people that are going to be like, oh, you're selfish. Oh, you're an asshole. Ugh, that are the people that the tarot have been warning you about. Those people, you got to take notes, girl. Take notes of the name. Take notes of the year. Take notes of when they did it on this timeline and cut them out of your life because they are not your friend. By doing that, you will find extreme peace with the Queen of Pentacles energy. So this is about double Queen energy, which is vibrating hard because, these 2 months are being ruled by Bhaivadi, which is divine female energy. We have the Queen of Cups and then the Queen of Pentacles that comes up, like right side up at these 2 moments, basically saying you're supposed to be strategizing and making sure everything comes into harmony and then reaping those rewards by being chill and not getting involved with anybody else. This is kind of like hermit mode energy. Let me go home. Let me just chill. Let me just do my own thing. And I don't need nobody else involved, right? So really focus on these 2 messages as they're echoing from different areas. Remember, this is echoing over here into April. This is also echoing into May over there.